Hey everyone, in today's phonics video, I'm going to go over some of the ways I like to teach cvce or silent E words. Now, I've done a few other videos like this in the past. I have one for how to teach CVC words, how to teach digraphs, and how to teach consonant blends. And I really like doing these videos because I show you some different ways that you can teach these different phonics skills, and you can take these activities and incorporate them in your own classroom. Now, personally, I think silent E is a fun one, so if you're ready to see some of these ideas, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. Alright, when teaching any new phonics skill, I like to start with the sound first. So you're going to let your students know that we are going to be learning about some new long vowel words. And to kick off this example, I would have students listen for the word and be prepared to tap out the sounds. For example, you can use a word like tape. Have students repeat it back, tape, and then tap out the sounds they hear. T-a-p, tape. Then I'll explain to students that in that word, I heard 3 different sounds. So on the board, you can draw 3 sound boxes like this. And then I'll ask students to tap that out again with me as I go ahead and write the sounds in the boxes. So then we would have t, t, a, p, p. And we would write that there. Then I would ask students to take a look at that word. When they see that word, they might say, wait a second, that looks like tap. Especially in first grade, if your students have already practiced a lot of CVC words, they would say that word is tap. And this is when you can tell students about our new rule of silent E. And you can teach them that one way to make the A or that middle vowel say its name is to add a silent E on the end. Now, when you're adding that E to the sound boxes, I've seen this done a few different ways. I've seen some people put like the P and the E in one box because it's still showing one sound, but with the silent E, I really like it to be on the outside of the box. So I will actually do it like this right here. This is showing students that the E is silent. It actually doesn't make any sound, so it doesn't need to go into the sound boxes. You can also go ahead and draw a little line under that E, kind of connecting that sound box if you want, but I usually just leave it blank. After showing students the word all mapped out like this, I would then have them tap it and say it one more time, t-a-p, tape. Then we would practice this a few more times. So I would erase those letters and I might give them another word like the word cape. I'm going to keep it in the same word family at first, just so students get the idea of how this works. I would have them again say it, cape, tap it, k-a-p, cape. And then working together with the class, we'll go ahead and write it in those sound boxes. C-A-P with that silent E on the end. Now again, I really like to point out that without that E on the end, what would this word be? I'll cover up that E with my hand and I will show the class what would this word be? Cap. We need that silent E there to make the A say its name. After doing about 2 or 3 of these in front of the class, I would have them take out their whiteboards and markers or something for them to actually write on, and I would do a few of these with the class. Now you can definitely just give them a word like I'm saying, say it, tap it, and then have them try to write it. You could also have them write some sound boxes on their board and have them write them in the boxes themselves. But I also have this resource that I think you will like, and I'm going to make a couple of the cards free for this video. So here is what it looks like. These are actually going in my SJT Literacy Club this month for a ton of different phonics skills, but these are say, tap, write cards. And here you can see some colorful ones. There's about 6 of them. We have bone, cake, lime, cone, cube, and flute. Students will basically flip a card. They will say it, cake. They will tap each sound, and I have little dots there for them to actually physically move their fingers. K-a-k. And then on their mini whiteboards or on their little page with some sound boxes, they will write the word cake.
Cube.
Cube.
Cube. Cube.
Yes. Nice job, Calvin.
Well done.
Great work. I would use these like a teacher tool, so they have a little dot up there for you to put them on a binder ring, and students could do this independently, or you could give them the words just as a little resource, but I like this as an independent center too. I also took these cards and made a black and white version like this one right here. These are the exact same cards you can see, but this would be like an independent practice sheet where students can write their name on the top. It's in black and white for you to just print out, and they would do the same thing and write it down, but then they could pass it in so you could check it out. Like I said, I have a ton of them for all different skills coming to the Literacy Club, and I'll probably make that for TPT too. If you want me to, write it down in the comments so I know. But I'm going to make some free ones just for CVCE and link those in the description for you to try out. But if you don't have those cards, you're going to do the same exact thing with your kids. Just have them take out some whiteboards or something to write on, have them say the word, tap the sounds, and then go ahead and write it down. Okay, so in our introductory lesson, students have seen how we apply that E to the end of the word and what it actually does to that long vowel, and they practiced writing it quite a few times. Next, I really like for them to take CVC words, add that silent E, and turn them into CVCE words. This way students get a chance to decode some of those words, and I find that students think this one is really fun because we also notice how the meaning changes, right? We're adding just this one little letter to the end of our words, and it's changing the entire word and its meaning. For instance, we can take can and turn it into cane. We can take cub and turn it into cube. There are so many different words we can do this with that it is fun for students to practice their decoding of CVC words and then adding that silent E and practicing decoding of CVCE words. Now there's a freebie I used to use years ago. I found this picture from my 2012 classroom, I think, and this was a fun kind of read the room activity. I think Mrs. Pollard made these. It's a complete freebie, but you take that E and you put it onto a bunch of popsicle sticks, and this way students can actually walk around with that E and put it in the circle to change the word. And there was a little recording sheet that came with it too. So I'm going to find that freebie and link it down in the description. I think it was free on TPT, so I will link that down there for you to grab it. Again, I love getting students up, getting them walking around the room, and it was fun to like physically put that E into place. Okay, now like with any other phonics skill, you're not just going to throw it up on the board once or twice, have them practice writing it down once or twice. Some of your kids will get it right away, but most of your students will need more practice. So first, I like to have them practice by using decodable text, so they're actually applying that silent E when they are reading that word. And there are so many places you can get decodable text. Some of my favorite are the one-page decodables that I've had. I have shared these many times, so I'm not going to go into it. Up at the top, it has a review section into words with CVCE, sentences, and then they can even draw an illustration to match one of the sentences, and it has a place for encoding words as well. Another decodable resource I like are phonics poems. I have a bunch that look like this, and I also have some specific CVCE comprehension passages that are both in digital option and printable option as well. And those last decodable passages also have some easy to answer comprehension questions in there, so it gets them thinking a little bit more. But whatever you use is completely fine as long as you have students practicing decoding these words, not only in isolation, but also in sentences. Okay, so we have introduced the new phonics skill. We had students practice it. We had them change CVC words to CVCE words. We practiced decoding. You know what's next. It's game time. Now I've already created a ton of print and play phonics games. I have this unit right here, which is specific to silent E words. So I will link this down in the description, but let me show you 3 of my favorites from that pack and why they're my favorite. First, we have real or nonsense, and up in the top left corner, I actually have it for each different vowel sound. So here is the A board, and students will go back and forth and they will spin the spinner on both sides, and they will have to go ahead and take that onset and rhyme and blend them together to see if it makes a real or a nonsense word. Now here students will actually go back and forth until one of them has filled up their real grid. Now the first one to fill up that real grid at the top is the winner, but along the way they're going back and forth because they're blending some real and nonsense words. They're practicing applying that silent E and checking for, again, comprehension to see, is this a real word or is this not? Another game I love from this unit is Spin and Reveal. Here students can play independently or with a partner, and they can choose any one of those 3 spinners and they will spin it and then practice applying that silent E to the end to see what word they've made. Once they make a real word, they will find it in the grid and color it in with their color crayon. If they're playing with a partner, they'll each have their own color crayon. And then students will go back and forth, or if they're doing it independently by themselves, until the whole grid is colored in, or until the timer is up of however long they're playing this game, and see who colored in the most boxes. And my third favorite from this one is called Roll, Read, and Draw. And I actually have 2 different boards you can see here. This one over here just has the word. So again, I'm having them decode silent E words and comprehend what the word is saying. So if they roll 2 dice and get 4 as the sum, player 1 would see the word wave and they would draw a picture of a wave. But then I also have this sentence one too. So over here, player 1, if they rolled a 4, it would say a cat was on the gate. And in that little box, they have to draw a cat on a gate. I have some other fun games in that pack, but those are 3 of my favorites because they practice slightly different things. Now, before I end this video, I do want to mention a couple other things regarding silent E, because while it is a fun one to teach, it can also be a little tricky. So first, I want to mention that silent E doesn't have just one job, right? It doesn't, every time you see silent E on the end of a word, it doesn't always mean to go ahead and make it a long vowel. And Sarah's teaching snippets, she's amazing. I've met her a few times and she's so kind, so knowledgeable. She shared this sheet right here, which goes over the other jobs of silent E. And I think she actually has this as a freebie, so I will link this down in the description as well so you can check it out for your own knowledge or for teaching kids, up to you. So as for things to kind of move towards, once students are able to apply this skill, I would definitely teach them about some of those other exceptions and those jobs of silent E. And then I would also work towards 2-syllable words. CVCE is a syllable type, so you will want students to break up syllables and notice that E, like cupcake, at the end of the word. And then also you want to teach students about suffixes. For example, if student sees a word like bikes, it does have that silent E, but there's an S on the end, and that can sometimes trick them up. Those are lessons I would definitely teach a little bit down the road, but I do want to make sure I mention them here because they are important when you're thinking of silent E. So there's an example of how I would teach silent E to my own students. I think I mentioned a lot of resources in this video, so everything, like in all my videos, everything I mentioned I will have linked in the description. Be sure to click that little down arrow so you can see all of the links and check out whatever you are interested in. If you have any questions, always please ask them in the comment section. I will try to get back to them. And if you have any other K-2 topics or skills you want me to cover in a YouTube video, don't be afraid to drop those down in the comments as well. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video, which right now I'm coming out with videos on Thursday and Sunday mornings. See you in the next one. Bye.